Hello everyone. Basically, I wanted to discuss to you where I managed to discover motorized bikes, or where I first actually found one, to be honest. So I remember maybe like probably 3 to 4 years ago, because it's been a little while now since I obviously got a bit introduced to it now. But I never really heard of these things before, and I thought it was quite fascinating, to be honest, how as I used to go over a lot of different markets and a lot of different stalls. Like my friend used to take me like in his car, and we used to go out for days out, maybe on a Saturday or Sunday, and they do like different markets here and there. And basically, I thought it was a mountain bike, but when I see that it had an engine on it, I thought this is a bit strange. I've never seen anything like this, and I actually thought it was kind of fake. I mean, I thought it was sort of unheard of. And this is like what I said going back about 4 or 5 years ago. And when I asked the guy, he was very sort of unsure himself. I mean, he said roughly how to use it and whatever. So I thought, I'm still like unsure in a way. So when I said to him, right, so what was the price for it? And he said to me it was about like for about £450 to £500. And I thought, what, how can this be that expensive? So I was thinking, no, I'm pretty sure that I might be able to build one of these myself. So when I said to him, so what is it actually called? And then he told me it's a motorized bike and it's got an 80cc engine in it. So I thought, right, so what is like, I didn't really know about the legalities of it, and obviously like what the petrol that you had to put in it, or the two-stroke mixture, or anything like that. He said to me, oh yeah, you put two-stroke in, but when I looked at the condition of it, the bike wasn't a very like big branded bike. I mean, it was like I'd never even heard of the name. So, and when it comes to the engine looked in such a bad state. Like for instance, it had oil stains and it had rust all over the exhaust, and obviously it was in such bad condition, and obviously having the basic carburetor, and you could tell that he's not put the right fuel to oil mix in it, because when he started it up, he said, yeah, it starts, if you want I can start it for you. When he went to obviously ride it, it struggled to even start. So I thought, no, I really don't want to waste £400 or £500 on this. So when he told me what it was, like, this is why I'm very adamant about people, they should do a lot of research into these things. So you don't ever just go out and buy the first thing that you see. I mean, you have to do a bit of research and shop around, because otherwise, like I said, you might buy it and then think to yourself, oh yeah, I've got a good deal at the time. But when you start looking around and obviously doing a bit of research, you think, oh my God, I've just been ripped off. So like I said, I stress it very, very seriously to you all. Yeah, if you're going to do serious things and obviously you're not mechanically minded, don't even rush into the idea of thinking, oh, do you know what? It's already put together for me. I haven't got to do anything. But like I said before in my other previous videos, I can build your engines, I can build your bikes for you if you want, but you're not really learning anything from that. Because like I said, if you do manage to break down miles and miles away from your house, I'm not going to be the one that's going to come out and then tell you obviously like what needs doing, and then obviously I'm not going to fix it for you. So you've got to learn a little bit about these things. But like I said, I've done a bit of research. I went onto eBay, and then I went onto Amazon and obviously AliExpress and a few other different places. And when I typed in 80cc engine on my phone, I found out that yeah, you can get an 80cc kit for, at the time it was £100 from Amazon. And then I said to my friend Terry, like, Terry, have you got a spare bike that I could maybe use? And he said, luckily enough, around my mother's house, he had a bike in her shed, and it was a Claw Butler. So I said to him, "Is there any chance I can have it? Because I really want to do this project. I'm excited to build it." And that's basically where the blue Claw Butler frame and the engine like come into play. And that was my first video where I took it all the way up to central London. And I know that for a fact that I didn't obviously finish off the kit. I didn't put front brakes on it properly and like back brakes on it properly. All I had on it at the time was a clutch and a front brake. That was it. But that was sort of my fault in a way, because I was so buzzing and itching to just get out on it and have a ride of it. But seeing as I got the bike for free and the engine kit only cost me £100, basically I got a whole motorised bike for £100 instead of paying £500. And my one was brand new. I mean, the bike was brand new, the engine kit was brand new. And even when I was going to break the engine in to obviously make sure that it was all right, I took it to central London. Obviously in the video you can see where I've cut different scenes of clips and obviously merged them together, but I didn't ride all the way to central London with the engine completely on. What I've done is I did take short intervals of braking time, so like 10 to 15 minutes each time, made sure that the engine was cool enough as well, obviously, like, and then start the engine up again and then just make sure I took it very easily. But that, I would have said the best way to break one of these engines in as well is that I know it takes one full tank of fuel to oil mix, but like that's just for one journey. I would have said that's completely one journey. So if it's 4 tanks of fuel to oil mixture, that means that all you have to do is just 4 journeys, and that way your engine is broken so quick, and yet that way you can start doing the upgrades, like the modifications, and even like the hardware, you can upgrade that. But yeah, when I first found out that yeah, you can get one of these kits, I was sort of skeptical myself, and I didn't really know too much about even how to mount it onto the frame. And I was thinking, I wonder if there's any other videos out there. And when I watched Bikeberry's video, it did sort of shock me, and I was thinking, yeah, there's got to be a way that I can maybe improve on this in a way. And I was pretty shocked, and I was thinking, yeah, do you know what, I want to bring out a YouTube series. And I didn't realize how popular it was, or how popular my channel grew, especially like putting these motorized bike videos on there. That's why I'm thinking that, do you know what, a lot of people keep asking questions all the time, or can you make some more videos? And obviously I was thinking, I want to move on from that series, but do you know what, I'm just going to keep making videos, as many videos as I can, to obviously help and answer as many different questions as I can as well. So like I said, there's so many different elements with these engine kits as well. You can either buy a fully upgraded kit as well, but the price is going to be completely conventionally high compared to a normal low bog standard basic engine kit. But I would have said the best thing to do is just learn from the start. So any youngsters out there that are thinking, oh, I'm really planning on to getting this, but I want it to go really fast, no, don't ever race ahead. I know that, for instance, you ever heard this saying, don't ever jump the gun, or don't go like a bull in a china shop, right? Just relax, take your time, slow down, all right? Because like I said, you need to break the engine in perfectly. But I feel as though this is a great hobby for family members as well. And obviously, as you notice, as like the weather is getting ridiculously cold now, and I know we're literally in the start of November. So when you think about it, the best way to integrate one of these engine kits as well is you can build it in your living room. You can build it inside your house in the warm. And obviously, like, it's very clean as well. You haven't got no oil that's going to leak out, no petrol that's going to smell or anything like that. If you're just building the kit as basic, you're going to have a great starting foundation. And obviously, you'll be able to store it in the dry. And then obviously, the second that the weather starts heating up or whatever, then you can take your bike out and then just have a little try of it. But I would have said another thing as well that people are seriously worried about with these engines is, like, if I upgrade and get this little tiny small head, then obviously like it will be fine for the heating issues because it looks good. No. Just because it looks all right, don't mean to say it's going to work all right. Now, that's the difference, all right? So basically, sometimes when people rush into upgrades, they don't really know what they're buying. Like, even for instance, I would have said, like, a spark plug, always use a HT lead, all right? So it's a high tension lead. That basically gives you a better spark for your engine. And instead of, say, struggling to start, then it starts. No, with every single one of my bikes that I build, I always use a HT lead. And the best place that I get this from is eBay. And I look for either scooters or I look for Lambrettas. Okay, Lambrettas do amazing parts for high tension leads because Lambretta are introduced with racing now. So they get decent stuff, even with spark plugs, right? Get yourself a high performance spark plug. Even for instance, like the carburetor, get yourself a high performance carburetor. And yes, you can get a high performance carburetor copy, right? It's a cheap copy, it's a replica of the real thing for £20, even £15, whatever. But it won't perform because you need to replace the jet on it. The second you replace the jet on it, it will perform as good as the high performance. Obviously, anything that's going to be a reproduction or a copy, it's not going to work as good as the original. But some do. I mean, even with tyres as well, make sure you use a decent set of tyres. Like Maxxis, they make amazing tyres. Continental, they make amazing tyres as well. And be careful with the road surfaces because, like I said, it's going to get really cold, it's going to be wet, it's going to be windy, it's going to be ice and sleet and snow, and every sort of weather is going to be hitting you out on these things. So another thing I want to talk to you about is weatherproofing. Like, for instance, if you're going out on these bikes, I've been riding bikes ever since I was 7, like upwards. So I've been riding bikes, motorbikes. I've rid up to 1250cc, like 1000cc, 650, 750, you name it. I've sort of ridden that sort of cc. But depending on even the size of the engine, it's about every time you go to take the bike out, the weather's going to rain. That's how it is, especially in England. Like, we've got the worst weather conditions. I mean, even in one day, you could have all 4 seasons hitting you in the same day. So, I mean, one minute it can be sunny and nice, and the next minute it could be windy and cold, the next minute it could be raining and horrible and pissing down. But that's the only trouble. I mean, so I would have said, make sure if you're going out, I've noticed that a lot of people, they've been coming off of these things as well. So make sure that you do wrap up proper. Yeah. You don't go out and buy some cheap sort of clothes and think, oh yeah, I'm going to be fine. Because I'll tell you what, when you come off, you'll know about it. All right. And unfortunately, it's really sad to know that a lot of these people that have had bikes as well, like the motorized bikes and even motorbikes, they have like obviously lost their life. And that is extremely sad to know. But it's not just due to the fact that obviously the way that they're riding it is the care and attention from other people. So always remember when you're on a bike, yeah, I know that you can see all around because you're not surrounded by metal as you are in a car. But when you're around, always make sure you look left, you look right, and obviously you see straight ahead, even behind you. So get yourself a set of mirrors on the front of the bike, and you can tell. I mean, it's not like exactly how you ride; it's how other people drive as well. So just be very cautious, be very careful, yeah. But yeah, look after yourself when you're out on the road, but just take your time and just see if you can assess the road situation, whether it's either like 100 meters ahead of you or even 50 miles ahead of you that you've got. Always assess and try and do a dry run, like even on Google Maps. If you want to have a little look at your destination, where you got to go, have a little look at see what sort of path that you could take. Maybe you take the easier path, but never ever, if it's pissing down or wet and rainy or whatever, don't make hassle for yourself, seriously. So sort out yourself a nice set of like leathers maybe, or like not jeans. Don't ever wear jeans on a motorized bike, because even the bottoms of your jeans, right, they can sort of like get caught in the chains as well. If say for instance you're going to ride your bike as well, yeah, tuck your jeans into your sock, yeah, or get yourself them straps that you can wrap around your legs, so obviously it's not going to get caught in the drive chain or the actual bicycle chain. Okay, because you won't just fuck your jeans up, you're going to mess up your actual like riding, if you see what I mean. You can slip off. Get yourself some decent pedals or stump pegs that stick out so they can actually grip your trainers or your shoes into the actual pedals itself. And then even like get a set of lights. Lights are very, very important. All right, because obviously it's not just about you being able to see the road or seeing other people, it's about other people being able to see you. And that's seriously important as well. I mean, I don't want to see anyone hurt themselves on these things. But like I said, the first time that I got introduced with this motorized bike, I thought it was ingenious. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. But like I said, there was a guy down this market. He seen me coming, and he thought he was so fast and so quick to think, oh, I'm going to rip this guy off. I'm going to try and get rid of this bike. No, no. I see it. I asked him a few questions. I said to him, what is it? Like, can you explain to me what it is? And that way I've used his bit of information to find my own bit of research. And I found out that I can get it for not even a quarter of the price, but even cheaper. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to get that. And when I got it, I was extremely happy. I thought, wicked. Now I've got my engine kit coming. I've got my brand new bike as well to put it on. It took me about an hour to obviously put it together. But when I was watching that BlackBerry video, the installation video, I thought it was, I mean, it was all right to get me started and everything, but it didn't really explain a lot. That's why another thing, I thought, I wonder if I can make a video and just improve on this. And that's like even with my father. My father was an engineer and technician and a toolmaker for 40 odd years. And he always taught me like life skill value sort of information. Like if there's something that's already been out and like it's not obviously as performing as it should do, then just trying to improve it. That's what being an engineer is all about. Just make sure that you try to improve that thing. And obviously you make sure that you'll not just improve it, but you'll feel more proud about it. So that's like, for instance, when I got my bike, I was thinking, yeah, there are a few things that obviously do keep falling off, like the carburetor, like the little screw kept undoing, and I thought, oh, this is a nightmare. Because when you're riding down the road, you're doing, say, 35 mile an hour down the road, you're thinking, oh, this is great. All of a sudden, and you think, why is my engine just cut out? And when you look back, or you look down towards your engine, the carburetor's hanging off, and you think, but I've tightened this screw up so many times. But all you do is you get like the decent hardware, like I said, and then you can just improve on it. And then even for instance, like your engine casings, you can improve on that as well. You can get the hardware to obviously hold the whole thing together. So when it comes to it, all right, you're the actual person that gets to not just design your bike how you want it, but you get to upgrade it how you want to. And obviously you get to engineer it or even over engineer sometimes. That's what I've done. So even like, for instance, a lot of people ask me why have I put a rack on the back of my bike? So it's for practicality. I mean, yeah, the bike looks great without it, but the bike also, in my eyes, looks great with it. And if I want to carry something, I'm not just going to carry it on my back and hurt my back. I mean, if I've got my bike there, I'll put it on the back of my rack and then I can cable tie or I can strap other things to it, and that way I haven't got to carry it. So it's about, I mean, my rack actually holds my 12 volt battery as well. and then it's got different like mounting holes which I've pre-drilled. It's got my number plate on there as well. So it's not just for obviously it's got my 12-volt horn. So if I need to like make sure that people are aware that I'm around, it's got so many different things that are not just mounted to it, but even my speakers. I've got two waterproof speakers on the back, and it's about, like I said, not just practicality, but obviously looks as well. So I think it looks great. I mean, I think it's very practical. But yeah, it's an idea that I thought that I'm gonna like obtain and sort of adapt to this BBR tuning frame, because no one else has done it before. But now I have. I've done it on both of my frames, and like I said, I've had it sandblasted and powder coated to match the same color or the same contour as my bike. So it all just looks great to me, even the bicycle stem. And what I've done is, originally when I had my two mountain bike frames, I thought, now that the frames are completely kaput and they're knackered, and obviously even the motorized bike chain was wearing into the frame and it's just worn it out. Unfortunately, I did have to scrap these frames. So I got rid of them, but I did obtain some parts from them bikes to sort of implicate and introduce them into like the actual brand new frames. All right. So to be honest, I mean, like, I've just had Craig Davis like basically mention on here, yeah, have I ever thought about it being legal? There is a way. Obviously, there's a way with everything, right? If you really wanted to get these bikes legal, especially in the UK, then what you have to do is you have to speak to DVLA, okay? Because you have to have the engine and the frame registered, okay? On the frame itself, it has got a number stamped into the bottom of the frame, like every single bike frame has got, yeah. But the engines, they haven't. I mean, the engines, they come from China, and there's no stamp, there's no serial number, there's nothing on it at all. So for you to actually have that bike insured, you need to obviously have the engine and the frame registered to DVLA. Once that's registered, then you need to phone up and ask for bike insurance. Then obviously you need to do a CBT on it, and yeah, the tax as well. I mean, there is a lot that actually goes into it. And say, for instance, I'll give you an example. If you wanted to insure one of these engines, because it's not really recommended over in this country, yeah, basically it's going to be kind of high. Okay, this is why I recommend that sort of doing this as a hobbyist or enthusiast sort of eye. So say, for instance, like even with a mini motorbike, that's only a 50cc bike. I mean, you're not allowed to use them on the road, so I understand that, I know that, but you can still sport it up and like sort of like paint it up and make it look nice, and then take it on a private track. I mean, even over in America, I noticed that a lot of people, like, they're doing their motorized bike sort of even with high performance sort of different things that they put on their bike, and they've got reed valve kits on it. I mean, like, that was something new to me. I've never even heard of a reed valve like engine, especially from a motorized bike version. But a lot of these people, they're taking their bikes onto special race tracks, and then they're racing for competition trophies and stuff. I think that's wicked. I'd love to have a go at that. I mean, I really would. And obviously take some of my ideas over to the US and then see what they think of what I've built. And when I've spoken to a lot of these people in the US, I mean, they say, oh yeah, but in our country, we can ride it wherever we want. Like, obviously depending on the state, but in the UK, we can't do that. But if you are interested, like, obviously getting a motorized bike legal in this country, there's not really much point. You might as well just go out and get yourself like a proper motorbike. And to be honest, the amount of faults that you do get with these things, like obviously the setting of the points with the magneto, and obviously like when the engine don't start, obviously these things, the magnetos will go depending on how much you rev the engine and how much you sort of like take the mick out of the engine in a way, if you're abusing it and you're not actually looking after it. So you need to constantly maintain these things. And like I said, it's not a proper decent engine, sort of like a Honda or a Suzuki. All right. So yeah, like I said, it's a hobby sort of thing, like flying a remote controlled aeroplane, like a petrol engine, like aeroplane, or flying a helicopter. All right. It's not something that you can use on a daily basis. I mean, I used to use them on a daily basis going to work and back. And you know what? I thought it was handy the first, say, few months. And obviously after the months go, you think, oh, now my spoke's just been snapped because my back wheel design was too bad. And obviously, like, oh, my engine don't start. And it's always first thing in the morning when you're already late to work and you think, oh my God, I've got like 5 minutes to get to work, like, and then your bike just don't start. That means you've got to pedal this thing with the engine and everything all completely set up, and it's going to be a nightmare. All right. So yeah, there is ways of making it legal, but I really wouldn't sort of suggest it, to be honest. It's not really worth it. Like, I mean, like I said, you can go out and get yourself a 90cc like motorbike, or a 110, or maybe even a 250 motorbike, and go out and have that insured. And do you know what? The insurance will actually be cheaper on that than what it would on this 80cc thing. So yeah, if any of you guys have any other like comments or questions, just fire them across to me, and I'll do my best to answer you the best I can. and just hope you really enjoy the rest of your day. All right. But remember what I said, do your research because it's seriously important. All right. Hope you guys take care and enjoy the weather.